Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Ashley, sending my love to you from whatever reality I'm in to whatever reality you find yourself in today. It's been a while since I've made a video. Again, it's some ongoing health issues. I've really not been very well. But I've been keeping up with what people have been saying online. And this is why I want to make this video, really, because I want to really recap on everything that I've learned since finding out that I'm Mandela affected. Well, the first and most, anybody that follows my channel, the first thing that you'll probably know is that I was absolutely gobsmacked to find out that I was talking to other ME affected people, but they were from the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way. And that is a message that still isn't getting out there enough. There are too many people that think that only Sagittarius people move to the Orion arm of the Milky Way, and that just isn't true. I'm an Orion original, and believe me, I seemed to move the same time you did. When you moved to Orion, I changed to a different Orion. I had experienced all the same MEs that you do. So when I first found out about the ME, that it was an actual thing that I was going through, and so were other people. Obviously, the Sagittarius arm situation was the biggest thing for me. I couldn't quite get my head around it. Then there's the Bible changes, the geography changes, the anatomy changes. All of those things obviously blow your mind. But I've been trying to work out what's going on, like everybody else has been trying to work out what's going on, and nobody knows. This is what's getting to me. A couple of people have actually been on some of my posts where obviously those of you who follow my own experience with the ME will see that a couple of times I've had a bit of a meltdown where I just couldn't cope with it. And that I'm sorry, but if you're going to be Mandela affected and come on giving it, get over yourself, get over it, you're not the only one affected. Well, you've got a problem because your bedside manner stinks, mate. I'm just glad that I hadn't first found out, and you were the first people that commented to me, because quite frankly, as bad as the trolls are, don't do it. I'm quite strong, and thankfully I already understood what was going on. I've been Mandela affected for a while by the time you were writing these things. So anyway, that said, these are the things that I've discovered. First of all, there seems to be a global misunderstanding about how many states there are in America. Now, that was one of my first changes back in the 80s. The changes were the American states changed from 52 to 50. And through doing this, talking to people online, I've noticed, well, first of all, I actually had to post the question on Facebook, and I got from 47 to 57 states that, that people thought that how many states there were in America, a massive range of differences. But on my actual post, I have had a man say that in the 80s, he saw a difference, a change in the 80s, but it changed the opposite way around and went from 50 to 52 for him. So I've been saying before that we, our realities are not the same. We do not come from the same place, and we are not sharing the same shifts at the same time. This is something that I find really very, very strange indeed. The fact that first of all, we don't all come from the same place, and there's one other person that is an Orion original for me that I know of, but she doesn't come from exactly the same Orion that I do, because I have things in my past that have only just become relevant as a Mandela effect to other people that I've already experienced in my real timeline, that has only just become a Mandela effect to other people. So it's quite clear that we, first of all, that this is, whatever it is, really isn't completely just from CERN or D-Wave computers, because I and many other people that I've spoken to have had changes without really understanding what it was we were, what the changes were, until recently with this massive change that nobody could ignore. And thank God we've got here that we can discuss these things with each other about, because somehow we are connected via the internet, and I'm not sure how, but our realities are definitely, not only are we having personal effects in the reality that we live in, that our actual surroundings, our physical surroundings are changing, but also, like I've seen online, that people were showing evidence of Uncle Sam's hat you know, for them, Uncle Sam's hat's plain white, and they're showing residual evidence of Uncle Sam's hat having the stripes. Well, for me, that's still my reality. So I went into town and took a picture and, like, you know, showed people, me, in front of my reality where Uncle Sam still has a proper stripy hat. So even then, within our, you know, people are madly, desperately trying to find residual evidence when that's my reality that I'm living anyway. It's still the same to me. So whatever is happening, we are sliding in and out of realities, and we aren't doing it all at the same time, or not having the same shifts at the same time. I do think there are big shifts, and they are also, I do believe that the Schumann resonance does have something to do with it. We've had, like, for instance, we moved up the Orion arm of the Milky Way after a week of massive Schumann resonance activity. We've had quite a large one this week too. And yes, I'm still seeing little changes around. Nothing too much, nothing that's freaking me out too much. But believe me, I mean, there's things like, I don't for 1 minute think that we're some kind of special people, purely because, well, I know there's nothing special about me. There's nothing extra special about me. You're probably very special, but I don't think in a way as, you know, we're going to be not judged and we're somehow very special. I don't really think that, because it's bloody horrible. If we were special, we'd know what was going on, and we haven't got a bloody clue. It's happening to us. It's not something that we're in control of. And I certainly don't feel very special. But also, it's the fact that I was trying to, I'm not going to mention his channel, but a man was talking about how in his reality, all of the body regenerates, okay? All of the body regenerates. Well, my reality is still only the liver regenerates. Now, the liver has changed. It used to have two lobes, a small lobe, but they weren't, you know, they didn't have an intersection between them like they do now. But in his reality, the whole body regenerates. So I'm saying, well, that's just proof that we're not in the same reality. And he said, well, we have to be in the same reality, otherwise we couldn't speak to each other. And I said, well, we can, and we're not. To which he said, well, when I've been on Facebook and things, I have felt people have been on a lower frequency than myself. Well, I just left his channel after that, because quite frankly, if you think that you're feeling people on a lower frequency, there's something very wrong with you. Although there've been, there've definitely been changes in the Bible and things like that. There's been definite changes in the Bible that are freaky beyond belief. But the Mandela effect, crosses all religion. Crosses all religion. People from all religions are affected. People from all walks of life are affected. People from all cultures and countries are affected. So you can't say that it's a Christian thing. It's a supernatural thing, for sure. And it's, in fact, strengthened my belief in God more than I think anything ever could. But I've been I cannot find anything at all that links us all, that we all, apart from most of us are a bit like truthers, I'll say that. I do think most of us have been searching for truth, not believing the official stories that we get from governments and things. I think quite a lot of us have been in our past, looking for these kind of things, which I certainly was. Things that were interesting me before I knew about the Mandela effect are all coming into play now, like Nibiru, the things that are changing in the skies. I mean, all of these things, they add up with all the religions, end time religion and everything like that. Now, I'm not saying it's end times. I don't know what's happening, but I do know that this matches up, and that please go and look for people like Sky Watchers, anybody to do with Nibiru. There are some amazing captures out there. A friend of mine, she actually captured a red rainbow in a night sky the other night. I can't believe it. I've never seen such a thing. This, apparently it's a very rare phenomenon that does happen. There's hardly anything about it on the internet from where I'm at the minute. But believe me, in the 54 years that I've been alive, I have never once seen a rainbow at night time. No, never. That's weird. All over the world, the moon's been seen upside down in different positions. So please go and check out any of those sites that are showing you the changes in the sky. It's not just chemtrails. There's all kinds of other things going on. Please go and check those people out. Matt Rogers. Also, please give there's like Stargazer, is it Frosty? Stargazer Helen, she's got an atlas that she uses and she tracks the changes in the geography. That's really interesting. Go and check her out, please. Also, Scott with A Theory of Nothing. Please go and check him out. Him and his wife are both affected together, and I'm totally intrigued by that whole situation. I can't wait to have a meet and chat to them. And yet again, none of us know what's going on. None of us. So stop pretending you do. You don't. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Stop pretending you know what's occurring, what's going on, because we've got no idea. The only thing that we're sure of is that reality is not what we were taught that it was. That's the only thing that we actually know. So please try to, stop trying to pretend that you know exactly what is causing this, because none of us do. The only thing, like I said, it's because of talking to people online that I've been able to grasp the fact that we are not all sharing the same changes at the same time, and I don't think we ever have been. I certainly, from my own experience, seem to have been drifting in and out of reality since at least the 80s. Whether or not I've really noticed it at the time, I did in the 80s, but then, things like somebody said to me today, Jemima Puddleduck said to me today, that for her, the Lord's Prayer changed in the 80s. Well, actually, for me, the Lord's Prayer changed in the 80s, but I thought it was because there was a spate of bringing out new Bibles and modernising, so I presumed it was about that. But it's changing the KJV now. The KJV now has changed, so, that's the original Lord's Prayer was changed, so that is completely different. But in the past, those things, you just shrugged them off, like originally when you first found out that logos were changing, you just thought that they were changing because they changed the logo. You didn't realise that it was apparently always been like that. So there's so much going on. There's so much changing. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's happening. There's a lot of different changes in the sky. I'm going to talk. I will do a video. I want to do a video about. I've had dreams, quite weird dreams since I was a child, about planets getting closer. And I recently had another one about 6 weeks ago. And, I used to have them on a regular basis and they stopped for a while. And I had another one a few weeks ago. And it's part of, I'm sure it's all part of it. And also the Black Sheep researcher, please go and have a look for him as well, because he has some amazing, amazing theories and ideas, all linked to, ancient civilizations, and those sort of things excite me so much. But the more questions we have that we try and answer, the more questions everything brings. So no, we don't understand what's going on. None of us do. All we're really certain of is that reality is not what we were taught it was, and what's causing it. None of us understand that. None of us. So please stop trying to pretend that, somehow you know more than somebody else. I've looked at quantum physics and D-wave computers since finding all this out. I had a bit of an interest in, well, there wasn't even such a thing as a D-wave computer in my reality. There was no such thing at all. Definitely not. No such thing as D-wave computers, whereas now technology seems to have come on in leaps and bounds, since we've changed realities. So, and we have each other, and that's all I can say, really. Thankfully, we have each other to talk to reach out to speak to share our stories, our fears. I'm having trouble with my emails. I'm really, really terrible at technology, so I've been trying to get through to some people, and I'm really bad at it, so please bear with me. I will be with you. So no, the thing that I have noticed is that we don't know. It doesn't matter, there's nothing that links us really, apart from the fact that quite a lot of us have been kind of truthers in some kind of way, but not everybody has. Not all of us have. And why some people can see and why some people can't, we don't really know. There's some amazing theories out there, which is why I said go and check out the Black Sheep researcher. But we don't know for sure. We can't know for sure. We know the world isn't what we thought it was, but we don't know where we're heading. We have no idea where this is taking us. We do know at first it was just logo changes, and then suddenly our own physical surroundings are changing. Some people, they've lost family members that they never had, brothers and sisters that were never there. Friends that have died have come back. all kinds of things. I mean, there are all kinds of things that have happened that I've never mentioned before. For instance, for you Brits out there, Fern Britton was married to Phil Vickery. And in my reality, about 18 months ago, they split up. 18 months, 2 years ago, they split up. It was really sad. But recently, they celebrated their 18-year anniversary. So in this reality, they're still together. So it's, trying to live with that kind of weird stuff. Never mind. I mean, so far, apart from my small windowsill in the kitchen, I haven't had any physical changes. Although people have shared their photos with me where they can see that there isn't a tree in the garden, and then there is a tree in the garden, that kind of thing. But the more we learn, it's about learning from each other. It's not about thinking we know all the answers, is it? It's about learning from each other and being there for each other. And believe me, the most important thing of all is love. Love is the strongest, most powerful frequency, vibration that there is, and it's the only way we're going to get through this. So I've heard rumours of people being quite, calling each other out, and all kinds of horrible things have been going on. Please stop that. There's no need. You don't have to agree with everybody about everything. You can be Mandela affected and believe in a flat earth or not believe in a flat earth. It really doesn't matter. Let people believe what they want to, because right now that is the only thing that is really obvious to me. The fact that anything's open now, anything's possible, anything. So maybe the earth is flat. How do we know? Truthfully, how do we know? So stop bickering with each other in the, I don't understand why that's going on. We're here for each other. In the Truther community, the ME and the Truther community, they cross over. It's all, absolutely all of it is linked. So reach out to each other. Reach out to each other. That's the most important thing, I think. Anyway, people, thank you so much for listening to my ramblings. I love you all very much. Till next time.